Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Scarfinger, aka Mike, aka PTCAC representative. I think I said that backwards, but it doesn't matter. What matters is I am going to be starting to try to work out how I'm going to be doing a live stream. So I know I've said for a very long time I was going to do a live stream, and I haven't done that yet. But, so what I'm going to do here is what I would do in a live stream. So there's not going to be really any cuts in this, unless I like make a huge mistake or something like that. So I am going to do this from beginning to end, no cuts. And that means, like, you know, when I turn around to wash my hands and all that kind of stuff, all that's going to be in the video, because that would be in the video if I was doing a live stream. So, today I am going to be doing I'm going to be doing another dip stitch, but I am using smaller canvases. If I'm not mistaken, these are 9x12s. I should have did 11x14s, but I couldn't really find them. They were kind of buried under a whole bunch of other canvases, so I grabbed these. So I'm going to do another dip stitch, but I'm going to kind of do it the same way, almost as the way I did the record ring, where I'm going to put the colors into the two cups. I'm going to leave a little bit of color, and I'm going to put the colors in between. I'll put a solid color in between the dirty cups. If you understood what I was saying. I don't think I quite understood what I was saying. But, okay, so what colors did I use? So, I used Master's Touch Violet. I used Master's Touch Purple, which is weird. It is just called purple, but it looks very kind of lilac-y. Lilac-y. I should call this lilac-y. And of course, my favorite Artist Loft Metallic White. It's pretty much the only white that actually works for me. Every time I use a different kind of white, it does weird things, and I don't know. And then I used this Master's Touch Turquoise Green, but to make it a little bit more turquoisey, because it's way more green than it is turquoise, I put a little bit of this Artist Loft Metallic Blue in. So just to try to make it a little bit more turquoisey. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into two dirty cups and dip stitch this thing. Let's get to it. Now, I had someone ask me why I don't explain a lot of this stuff. I think for the most part it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's really, I don't know. I think because I've done it so much that I don't feel like it needs to be explained. But maybe in your case, it probably should. So really, I just have these canvases. Both of the canvases have thumbtacks on the bottom, large thumbtacks, because the small ones don't work very well. And then I just put these together. Sometimes I'll paint the corners, sometimes I won't. I think in this case, because I'm using smaller canvases than I used before, I'm gonna have a lot of paint, so I don't think I need to paint the corners, because I'll just have extra. And then, all right, so we're gonna put this in the middle, and now it's time to make these cups. Now I know I'm going to have enough paint, but my main concern is making sure that I have enough white, because my biggest problem with the previous dip stitch was the fact that not enough white showed really in either of the paintings, but you know, it only really showed in one of them in particular. So So I'm putting some of this in each, and then I'm holding on to some for the solid color in between both of the cups. And I'm going to hold on to a little bit of this just in case I need it. And I had a friend ask me what a dirty cup was. A dirty cup is just basically when you put all of the colors into a cup. You know, different than like a clean pour. A clean pour is when you pour each color on the canvas separate, and it looks cleaner, and it's a better representation of the colors. I probably should have put the turquoise in the middle of the two colors, but too late to worry about it now. All right, so my cups are made. I'm gonna sit these to the side. I'm going to start this by just putting down the white. And if I was smart, which I'm not all the time, I probably should have had something with me so I could spread this around, which I don't. It'll be all right. It's gonna have to be all right. Actually, thank you, Silent Sidekick. She just told me that I had this right here, so I'm just gonna spread this out a little bit. Oops. Don't tell nobody. Because I'm not cutting any of this out, even when I make mistakes like that and this. It's all going to be here because I am preparing to do this live. I'm really terrible with the knife. If you could see some of the other like abstract paintings that I've tried to do, you would know just how terrible I am with the knife. You know, because I got into this as just wanting to do fluid paintings. I never thought that I would want to even remotely try to branch out from there. And, you know, turns out I do. But I'm really horrible at it. Like, really horrible. I've already had to, like, scrape off, like, 3 paintings so far. Because my knife work is terrible. Okay, clearly this side had more paint than the other. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Alright, so we're going to put them back together. I'm going to put this back in the middle. Shout out to the people that's like, yo, you actually use your hands on this. Anybody who knows me knows that I am not the type of person that really likes to get my hands dirty, but for some reason I don't like the feeling of wearing gloves when I'm trying to make these paintings. It just doesn't feel right. All right, so we are going to start with this, and the focus is really just in the middle. So when it spreads out, just trying to make sure that it goes to both sides. And this is probably going to be way too much paint because I prepared this for canvases. I prepared to paint for canvases that are larger. And I didn't think of this initially because I just thought of the color combinations just as a, like, I wonder if I could do like turquoise and purple. I didn't really think that it would end up being Charlotte Hornets colors, but it ended up being that. A little bit of the solid color in between. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this here also. And I know this is lopsided, so I'm putting a little bit of that over there. Trust me, it'll be fixed when it's tilted. I hope. No, really, I hope. Alright, so we got that part down. Now it's time for the other dirty cup. And then we're going to finish it off with the violet. The same two colors that I used were the first two colors out of this cup. Yeah, this is way too much paint. I probably could have saved this for like an 8x10 or something. Alright, I'm just going to stop it right there. I still got a little bit of paint left. I don't think it's going to make it to an 8x10. Because I have some, but I don't have enough for an 8x10. But it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put this solid color here. So I use this last little bit of this just so that solid color wouldn't just be the only thing in the middle.
Perfect.
Alright, so I'm just going to let that sit for a few seconds to let it continue to flow out. And then the first thing I'm going to do is kind of pick it up from the middle. So lifting it up from the middle so both sides kind of go out a little bit, and then kind of tilting from there. Now I could focus it a little bit more and try to get them to look identical, but that just doesn't really work for me. So I am going to, like, once I tilt them, get the paint going towards the edges, I am going to separate them and I'm going to tilt them independently of each other. Kind of like what I called the other dipstych. I call it fraternal because, you know, like fraternal twins. That's basically what why I called it that. But I think it looks better if I'm not trying to get them to look identical. All right, here we go. I'm letting it get basically to the edge. All right, split them apart. I'm just gonna move this right here. Now, I have an issue that I normally have, and I don't know how to solve this, to whereas when I start tilting, sometimes I don't tilt them separated enough from each other, and I end up dripping onto the other one. I hope I don't get that here. And this is a lot of paint. I am really hoping that I don't end up getting this to crack, because it will if you have too much paint. And this is way too much paint. I really like this though. The color combination is kind of dope. And then I want that middle piece to come back down a little bit. I'll turn it more towards you so you can see. And then I'm just trying to get that corner. Got it. And then I'll deal with the corners after the fact. I know you can't really see this. There we go, you're back. So the rest of it is just making sure that we get these corners taken care of. I probably could do something more than just touching it with this. I could use the knife. But as we already discussed, I'm terrible with the knife. So just patting the corners, making sure this stuff is actually covered. All right. Those corners are taken care of. Get in here, get these corners. And this should be pretty much a wrap. I typically use a torch or a heat gun to try to get the bubbles out. But I was watching a video and someone said that the bubbles just kind of work themselves out. And I'm wondering if that's true. So I'm just going to leave the bubbles in here, and I'm just not going to worry about it and see how it turns out. As it stands right now, I really like these. This part is usually like the most annoying part to me. Just trying to make sure that the sides and the corners are taken care of, because you want them to look, you know, a lot of people use the knife and just kind of scoop it and just kind of put it on the corners, or they try to use what's left from the cup on the corners so it has some sort of uniformity. But it's just it's kind of a gamble, no matter which way you actually do it, to make it look like it belongs. In most cases, like, the corners don't matter that much. They don't really matter that much to me, to be honest, but because, I mean, it's not, for me, it's not the focus. Like, to me, the focus is that middle piece, the solid violet part in the middle of each. I think that's I don't know if that's a bubble or if that is a chunk. I don't really want to find out. So I'm going to wash my hands. And this is usually the part that I cut out of the videos of me washing my hands. Like, y'all never see this at all. Who knows, maybe I might actually cut this out of the video. If I do cut it out, it doesn't matter, like, you're not gonna know. That's funny. So it's really, I don't know whether that's a bubble or a chunk, and I don't have a toothpick to figure that out. Are you gonna grab me a toothpick? Do you know where they are? It's a bubble, it popped. For those who don't know, I'm talking to my girlfriend. Yeah, I think it's time to put them together and let's do some close-ups. It popped already. We don't need it. So let's work on some close-ups. Woo-hoo. Now I'll probably do another video when they are dry. This is going to require me to wipe my hands again. But I'll probably do another video when they're dry, because the problem with doing this right after the paintings are done is the fact that the lights just kind of show up in every aspect of this part of the video. So hold on one second. There's going to be a little bit of camera shake. A little bit while I take this off. And this is what we have. I really like it. I think this is a much better representation of the dipstych that I was trying to achieve with the ones for my dining room. And if I had it to do over again, I probably would do the dining room paintings a little bit closer to this. So let's start over here. I like this one better than the other. Oh, you can see the lights in here. I like this one better than the other because this middle part is like smoother in the way that the lines kind of warp around or wrap around that solid color. I really dig that a lot. And this one is cool, but I think this little part right here on the end that just kind of goes off, like right there. I don't know if I dig that so much, but as a whole, like, I really like this a lot. And I kind of dig the whole dip stitch thing. So this has been a pretty long video. I don't know if I'm going to try to cut any of this out. Maybe I'll try to cut out the part where I wash my hands, but I shouldn't, because I'm trying to do a live stream thing, and this is going to be a thing, including washing my hands. So thank you for checking your boy out. Do the things like, share, subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace out to the Warriors, yo. Oh, I'm going to be posting the Patreon soon. You can win custom paintings or more. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Peace out.